Emem lives in a community in Ikorekpene in Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. She is the only child of her parents. Her mother sells yam in the local market of their community while her father is a farmer. Emem's parents were not rich, but they took good care of her. They gave her good home training and disciplined her when she erred. Emem grew up well behaved and the pride of her parents. One day at the marketplace, Emem's mother and her neighbor were quarreling. The neighbor accused Emem's mother of always stealing her yam. From quarreling, the two women fought themselves. The people around separated them and took them to the leader of the market. At the leader's place, the two women explained what happened. The leader asked them to go and warn the neighbor to stop accusing Emem's mother since she didn't catch her stealing her yam. She was just acting out of mere assumption. When they go back to the store, the neighbor continued to abuse Emem's mother, but she just ignored. Emem came back from school that period and greeted the woman. The woman turned to her and called Emem names. The woman also cursed Emem that no one would love her again. She said her curse would come to pass if truly Emem's mother stole from her. Daughter and mother ignored her. Some weeks after the fight, Emem noticed some changes in her parents. Her parents no longer show her love and care. They despised her so much and beat her at the slightest provocation. Emem was also despised by everybody in the village. No one wants to have anything to do with her. They called her names and jeered at her whenever she goes into the community. Emem summoned courage and asked her mother what was wrong. Why did they suddenly hate her so much? Her mother replied by giving her the beating of her life. Emem ran out of the compound and sat under a mango tree crying. She was under the mango tree when the oldest man in the community walked to her. He questioned her and she told him her predicament. The old man asked her not to cry again, that the gods of the land will fight for her. He left her side and went in to meet her mother. The old man advised Emem's mother not to punish her for what she knew nothing about. He asked her to take care of Emem because she is innocent. He told her that what was happening was not ordinary, and he touched her on the forehead and asked her to come back to her senses. The old man took his leave and Emem's mother went to look for her. She consoled Emem and drew her to herself as she used to do in the past. She asked her daughter not to cry again and took her into the house. Emem's father came back from the farm and he met his wife fusing over their daughter. His wife talked to him and he felt sorry. They both hugged her and Emem felt loved again. Emem enjoyed the love of her parents again, but the attitude of the villagers towards her remained the same. Several weeks later, her parents fell sick at the same time and she tended to them. No one wanted to have anything to do with Emem. She had to tend to her parents alone. She went as far as the next village to get a medicine man to take care of her parents. Emem's parents didn't improve, but they got worse. She cried every day for their recovery. After her suffering and pains, Emem woke up one morning to see both of her parents dead. The pain and the grief she felt was indescribable. She screamed and raised the alarm to the neighbors, but no one came to her aid. She rushed to call her relative. They all accused her of killing her parents and called her names. Emem was alone in the world, rejected and abandoned. She felt hopeless and miserable. After her parents were buried by relatives that hated her so much, Emem lived like an outcast in the community. Nobody wants to have anything to do with her. She had to go to the next village to do menial jobs in order to feed. She trekked to and fro the village every day. Life was not easy at all for the poor orphan. One day, on her way to the next village, she was hit by a car. The owner of the car was Mr. Edet. His son was with him and they took Emem to the local medicine home for treatment. James, Mr. Edet's son, who just came new to the village after being away for years, made sure Emem got the best treatment. Emem didn't sustain serious injury and she was treated and discharged. James became a regular visitor at Emem's place. She tried to discourage him to not come, but he wouldn't listen to her. Emem and Edith became close. The Ediths tried to discourage their son from seeing her, but he wouldn't listen to them. He told his parents that he had fallen in love with Emem and wants to leave and marry her. His parents quarreled bitterly with him. James started dating Emem and he took good care of her and buys her things. James' parents were tired of quarreling with him and they accepted for him to marry Emem. They all made plans for the marriage ceremony. A week before the marriage ceremony between Emem and James, James was involved in a ghastly motor accident and didn't survive it. Emem was accused by everyone of killing James. She was brought out and beaten mercilessly. She had to run for her dear life and the youths gave her a good chase. Emem ran through farmland for her dear life. She narrowly escaped the youth, and when she got tired of running, she sat under a tree to catch her breath. She thought of everything that happened to her and she cried bitterly. Why was life not fair to her? She has no one and nowhere to go. Where would she go from here? She was crying when a man walked to her and asked questions. She told him her story. He consoled her and offered to help her and asked her to follow him to his house, which was in the next village. Emem had nowhere to go and she followed him. They got to the man's house. He had a big family and they all welcomed her warmly. Emem was shown love and well cared for in her new home. She thrives under the care of the man and his family members. Emem learned how to sell fabrics from one of the wives after serving years of apprenticeship. They opened a shop for her and her business flourished. The years went by and Emem didn't suffer any calamity. One day at her shop, she sighted a lady begging for alms. The lady was Eno, the daughter of her mother's neighbor who had laid a curse on her. The lady didn't recognize Emem. When Emem introduced herself, she was shocked. She told Emem that they had been looking for her for a long time. Eno's mother was critically sick and had a confession to make to Emem. Emem followed Eno to the village. Only few people recognized her. At Eno's mother's place, she confessed to Emem. She said she was jealous of Emem's mother. The judgment of the market leader enraged her and she decided to do something to make Emem's mother suffer. She openly cursed Emem and went to make charm to make it seem like the charm was working. She had to kill Emem's parents when they got over the spell on her. She was also the one that killed James to make Emem look like a bad person. Everyone was shocked by her confession. Her children were angry with her and wanted to beat her, but Emem stopped them. She told them that she had forgiven her. She told them that her being alive was what was more important. She asked them to turn from their evil ways and then to God. Even gave them money to take care of themselves. 3 days later, Eno's mother died. Emem went to sympathize with Eno and her siblings, and she participated in the burial ceremony. She donated generously and helped them as best as she could. Emem met Samuel, a medical doctor in town. He professed his love to her and several months later, they got married. Emem lived a fulfilled life with her husband and her children. She was loved by all, happy and contented with life. The cursed maiden became a happy rich woman at the end. Truly, who God has blessed, no man can curse. What lessons did you learn from this interesting story? I'd love to read them in the comments. And please do not forget to subscribe, like, and also comment all the lessons you learned because I enjoy reading them and I would love to hear what you think. Until we see again, bye.